One of the biggest fears of algo traders, for algorithmic traders, is when an automated algo that they're running just goes crazy and starts sending orders. Well, yesterday I had one that sent 300 orders in the space of a minute. What did I do? I'm champion trader Kevin Davey, and let's find out. Okay, so the neat thing about running algorithms for trading is that you can do it without having to enter the orders yourself. They can all be automated. The downside to that, of course, is you're at the mercy of the computer. And if it decides to send a bunch of orders, hey, you could be in real trouble, right? Luckily, most of the time, the way trading software is set up, that won't happen. There are things in place to just prevent a lot of bad orders, and if you write a good strategy, chances are you won't run into this. But let me tell you what happened to me, and I'll give you some lessons you can use in your own trading. So I run a lot of test strategies that I want to try out some things, and the way I test them is with the Micro E-mini. That's a great way to limit your exposure and at the same time get some meaningful real-world results, not just back tests, but get some live results. I was running a strategy and it normally makes about 6 trades per day, about 3 round turns. So it's not that many trades, it's pretty easy, and it's out by the end of the day. And when I wrote the code for this strategy, one of the things I did was I put some special code at the bottom to make sure I was out of all positions by the end of the day. Turns out that caused my problem, which I'll explain in a minute. So I've been running this strategy for a couple weeks, and it's been running fine. It's been exiting and entering fine, and like I said, it's usually about 6 trades a day. But yesterday, at 1 minute before the close, the strategy just started sending orders like crazy, and it sent 332 orders in the space of a minute. Buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. Turns out I was responsible for about a quarter of all the volume in that last minute on the Micro Mini ES. It was crazy. The good thing is I was usually entering and exiting at the same price or losing a tick here or there, so it only cost me a couple $100 altogether, even with commissions. But still, it kind of freaked me out. And I was sitting there watching it while it was happening. It was pretty bad. These things can happen every once in a while, especially if you have some issues with your code, like I did. So the big thing here is to figure out what happened and prevent it from happening again. And that's exactly what I did. So first, I turned the strategy off. The market was closed, but that's always the first step. Next, I started to try to figure out what happened. And sometimes this is easy, sometimes this isn't. In my case, what I was doing was I was trying to exit at the end of the day, so I put code in to make sure all positions were closed. The problem was, earlier in the code, I also had some entries that could be taken in the last couple minutes. So what was happening is the top of the code said, hey, you should enter a position, and it did, and then the bottom of the code said, hey, you need to get out of that position, and it did. And these two things just kept fighting with each other for the next minute. So I was able to track it down pretty quickly, make some code fixes, and now everything works fine. So you might say, well, what can you do in such a situation? So the second step is examine your code and see if this kind of thing is normal or not. So looking at a backtest should be able to tell you, have you ever seen this before in backtest? Next, what you can do before you put any strategy into real-time trading is you could run it in sim mode. Now, sim mode has its drawbacks too, but a lot of times a whole bunch of orders being fired off will show up pretty quickly, and so you can take some steps to fix it because you know there's something wrong with your code. The approach I use is to trade it with the Micro E-minis, which is pretty small as far as point value. It's only $5 a point. So you get to see the real world of sending orders actually to the exchange, not to a sim engine. And so you get to see what's going on there. And like I said, I've been running this test for 2 weeks, and this was the first time it came up. So you want to run your test for a long enough time to make sure there's no bugs in it. That's kind of what happened to me with my automation disaster. 300 trades in the space of a minute. It was kind of crazy, but after the fact, I was able to turn off the strategy, examine the code, find out the root cause, fix it, and now I'm back and running again. So if you follow those steps, if this happens to you, you'll be able to prevent it from really damaging your account. Well, hey, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you have some kind of automation disaster you'd like to share, please leave it in the comments. I'd love to hear it. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I'll continue to make videos for you. I'm Kevin Davey. Have a great day.